Similar triangles. Whenever I've got these types of questions, I would always draw out the two triangles. Draw out the big triangle and the small triangle, ideally using a ruler, and put on the measurements. Now we know E to C is 8.1, so on the bigger triangle we can put an 8.1. D to C is 5.4, so that's on the smaller triangle, 5.4. It's telling me D to B is 2.6, so that's on the smaller triangle. And I would also put these measurements on the larger triangle as well. And A to C is 6.15, that's on the larger triangle, 6.15, and I would label them all up on the larger triangle as well, especially this 6.15. We'll need that later. It says work out the length of AB. Now I've no idea how long AB is, but I can see that I could work out what B to C is, because that's on this smaller triangle here. To get from the large triangle to the small triangle, it's something to do with 8.1 and 5.4. And if we're not sure how many 5.4s go into 8.1, there's no shame in tapping into the calculator 8.1 divided by 5.4, and it says the answer 1.5. So to go from the small triangle to the larger triangle, we'll multiply by 1.5, and the opposite way around, divide by 1.5. Now this question mark here, on the smaller triangle, that's something to do with 6.15. And I need to follow the correct arrow. We're going from the large triangle to the small triangle, so we'll do 6.15 divided by 1.5, pop that in the calculator, and it says 4.1. And we can add that to the picture here. So B to C is 4.1. We've got most of the marks in the question using similarity. However, the question said how big's this little side here? Well, we know the whole side is 6.15, and we'll take away the 4.1, giving me my final answer of 2.05 centimetres. Part B. The graph shows the depth d centimetres of water in a tank after t seconds. Find the gradient of this graph. Whenever the examiner mentions the word gradient, I think of rise over run, or change in y over change in x, whichever you prefer, whichever you've memorised. And I always like to draw a triangle. Doesn't matter how big a triangle you draw, I'm going to use the full triangle that's drawn here. So I'm going to use the entirety of this triangle. And I can see it's risen up the page. Got to be careful there, I think that's 210. And it's run along the page by 140. Again, if you use a smaller triangle, you will still get the correct answer. So the rise is 210 and the run is 140. But hang on, this graph's going downwards. So that doesn't feel like it should be a positive answer. I got the rise wrong. It's actually going down the page by 210, but not to worry, we can easily change that. So the gradient of that graph is 3/2 or 1.5. And it then says explain what this gradient represents. Graph shows the depth of water in a tank after t seconds. So the depth, we can use the words they've used in the question. The depth of the tank, of the water in the tank, now it's a negative, so it's decreasing, it's going downwards, is decreasing by 1.5, or you could say it's increasing by minus 1.5, but I think decreasing by 1.5 is better. You've still not got this mark. We've done rise over run. Always look at your units. The rise units are centimetres. The run units are seconds. So we write centimetres on the top because that's the rise per second. You could, of course, write cm s to the power of -1.